You're officially graduates from the University of Alberta Faculty of Science. And you may not know this, but you now join an amazing family of 47,000 University of Alberta Faculty of Science alumni. And we couldn't be more proud of all of you. You could have chosen anywhere in the world to study, and I know that many of you in this room had opportunities to study elsewhere, but you chose to study here. And we're honored that you worked with us, that you collaborated with us, that you learned from us, and you chose to complete your education with us. Each of you took your own path to get here today, and you all have memories of that path, and you should honor and cherish your path. Whether it's your own memories of dragging yourself out of bed for your 8 a.m. lab, reflections of field schools for those of you that were in field schools, anecdotes about your favorite professors, opportunities to work with some of the world's scientific leaders, or the relationships you've formed with your classmates, colleagues, and friends. You'll carry those relationships forward for years to come, and many of those relationships will stay with you professionally through your careers. I hope you reflect on all of that and look back on your U of A Faculty of Science education as a foundation for the success in the paths that you're going to follow. You're officially on your way to realizing your potential, and we're honored to have played a role in that. Before lunch, I introduced myself and congratulated and met some of you. If I haven't had the chance to talk to you, I look forward to doing that, and I'll look forward to seeing you all at the Convocation ceremony this afternoon. Those of you that I did speak with, I've been amazed by all that you've accomplished, both inside and outside of the classroom. You volunteered your time to inspire curiosity in others, and this is going to have a lasting impact for yourselves, your colleagues, and for future generations. You've worked in labs, and you've shared in scientific discovery. Many of you have traveled overseas and worked with your collaborators to affect change and move discoveries forward. And you've contributed to a caring and sharing community here on campus. And I'm sure that all of you can talk about relationships and times when your fellow students, fellow lab mates, and colleagues have been a really important part of your journey. And I like to think how scientists work together in groups, not only because it is a scientific way of doing things, but also because we support each other and we actually do better when we're talking to each other and working things out with one another. So take a look around. If you haven't said hello or introduced yourselves to those at your table, I encourage you to do that. But look even beyond, because you're sitting in a room here filled with your colleagues and your collaborators, and you are in a lot of good company. In fact, today we are graduating 99 undergraduate students and 173 graduate students. So I have to clap to that. We in the Faculty of Science have a strong reputation for excellence and leadership, and we've been dedicated to making you, our students, and now our alumni, more competitive in the global economy. While each of you tailored your education to your unique interests and needs, you shared an intrinsic curiosity about the world that we live in and the potential for discovery, and we all share that, and that unites us as scientists. I hope that you continue to be driven by curiosity and discovery, and I hope that your curiosity continues to drive your success. Now, I'm honored to introduce you to our classmate, and I've shared my lunch table with him and his family, and it's been a delight, and that is Kory Mathewson. He's going to reflect on his experience as a student in the Faculty of Science. Kory has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering and a master's degree in biomedical engineering, and today he's going to celebrate the completion of his PhD in computing science from the University of Alberta with the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute. And I'm going to go off of my notes here to say that I also just heard him say that of all those 3 degrees, the science one was the best. Kory's research interests include interactive machine learning, human-in-the-loop deep reinforcement learning, human and robot interfaces, prosthetic robotics, and conversational dialogue systems. Kory is a research scientist with deep mind. He has interned at Twitter Cortex, at Google Brain Magenta, and at Apple Special Projects Group. His PhD research is funded by the National Science and Engineering Research Council. Kory is also a lab scientist in machine learning at the Creative Destruction Lab in Toronto and Montreal, and he's joined us today from Montreal. He's an accomplished improvisational theater performance artist with rapid fire theater, and he's currently fusing his interest by developing artificial intelligences to perform alongside comedy. Please join me in welcoming Kory.
Thank you. That is the best introduction I've had today. Okay, pause, and okay. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Are we all excited? We're all going to graduate? Yeah, okay. Just by show of hands, who's going to walk across the stage today? Okay, right on. And by show of hands, who's here to support someone who's going to walk across the stage today? Amazing. It's amazing how much support is here. I really love that all these wonderful supporters are here. My wonderful support system is here as well. So to all of you fellow graduates, to the faculty, staff, families, and supporters that are in the room today, it's an honor to be invited to speak to you and to present some of my personal perspectives on graduating from the Faculty of Science. Since the moment I was asked to present, I was looking forward to looking back and reflecting on my time with the Faculty of Science. My academic path through the University of Alberta has started almost 15 years ago when I started my undergraduate degree in engineering. Who would have thought that I came so far, and yet look at how far I've come. In fact, it was a decision that was made downstairs in the sunroom here at the Faculty Club with my grandparents and mom and dad and brother who are here today to actually do my academics here at the University of Alberta. And it wasn't an easy decision. It was one that actually required a lot of insights and predictions about the future. During my undergraduate and master's degrees in engineering, I was confronted with a thought that keep coming up. That is that engineers make things work and make things that work better. But scientists work on really hard problems. Scientists work on problems where there might not even be a right answer, let alone something that works. Scientists work in worlds where failure is not only a possibility, it's an inevitability. Scientists embrace that you can learn more from failure than you can from success. That each hypothesis that you disprove, each theory that you fail to support with critical evidence, each empirical experiment which presents negative results is just as valuable, if not more so, than every positive counterexample. Science is about knowledge, about testing the physical world in which we all live by asking questions and figuring out a way to listen to the world answering back. Science is thus a dialogue, and echoing what the dean said, it's a dialogue between you and me and all of our colleagues here in this room that'll join us on stage and around the world in the scientific community, but also between yourselves as scientists and the physical worlds in which we exist and prepare and perform our experiments in. Now, my journey from engineering to science has been marked largely by the embracing of learning through success and failure, through trial and error, and these values are obvious to me because they're what improvised theater is built upon too. You don't get up on stage without a script or preparation expecting to succeed. You're going to fail. The audience loves that notion, and they embrace that. There's also these notions of success and failure in the foundations of artificial intelligence and how we expect these artificial systems to learn. So it's fitting that the largest failure of my PhD graduate studies also turned out to be a great learning opportunity. It was late 2015 when I envisioned a computer system along which I could perform improvisational theater. This idea came out of a conversation with an acclaimed theater director in London. And I would argue that it's conversations that is the best tool that we humans have for building shared knowledge, language, and understanding about ourselves, each other, and the world in which we live. My hypothesis was that these systems would be capable of onstage performance and enhance the audience and performer experiences by augmenting us as human creators. By spring of 2016, I had built such a system, and it was ready for performance. Rapid Fire Theater, and one member of Rapid Fire Theater is joining us here, who I am so excited that you're here, it's so wonderful, excitedly produced this show at the beautiful Citadel Theater downtown. And I was excited to present my science and improvised theater to the world. Excited because half of science is talking about your science. It's our duty and our responsibility as scientists to communicate and to engage communities in our work. Now the show itself, I don't know if any of you were there, was a failure. A monster failure. The system broke down, it was technically broken, and very theatrically unsatisfying. There were no reviewers in the audience, thankfully, because they wouldn't have said very nice things. When the system, the AI that I built finally did work, there were issues with the acoustics, the microphone, the speech recognition. When the artificial dialogue system actually came up with a response, it was so offensive that it got booed. This further distanced me from the audience. And I went home after the show and I cathartically wrote out a manifesto, a blog post detailing all the ways in which the show was a failure. Days passed and I had an excited meeting with my supervisor when they said that they are excited that I might actually be working on something productive now that I wasn't spending all my time doing human-robot improvisation. But then I got an email from a research scientist in the United Kingdom. It remains the longest email that I've ever received, clocking in at just under 30,000 words. In short, Piotr was saying, he described that he was working on a similar idea, an idea where humans and machines could share stages together. And he said three things in these 30,000 words that I'll summarize for you here out of time. 1, screw you for doing this first. 2, I know how your system is broken and I know how to fix it. And 3, do you want to collaborate? Work together to answer some of these exciting scientific questions surrounding this cyborgian life we imagine. And I did what any reasonable University of Alberta graduate science student would do. I went to the airport and got on an airplane to London right then to discuss with him in person. Now that trip marked the commencement of my scholarly investigations in human-machine intelligence working together on stage. Up until the point of failure, it was an engineering project, but once there was a dialogue about theories and failures and learning, to me then it became science. He and I and many others went on to collaborate on multiple scientific and artistic contributions. We've performed almost 100 times around the world since that first show in 2016. We've co-presented at top scientific conferences around the world, and the momentum of science continues to build. We have groups that are doing these kind of shows in the UK, the US, Belgium, Sweden, and here in Canada. So in this way, my biggest failure continues to be one of my biggest successes, through dialogue, through learning, through honest vulnerability. These studies of technology and performance are detailed in my thesis, which I'm happy to provide to all of you upon request. Actually, if you look under your seat, there's a copy of my thesis for everybody. Enjoy it. You get a thesis, you get a thesis. Enjoy your day today because you've earned it. You've earned it, you've worked hard, and you've earned it. And great scientists are able to find a balance between being proud, being braggy, and being humble. So be proud of the work that you did, and brag about the results that you found, and be humble in your learning from failures. So today, I invite you particularly to shelve the last two and be proud most of what you did, because the successes and failures that you have made and your contributions to your respective fields and to the large sphere of human knowledge are not unnoticed. We notice them, and we talk about them, and we will for years to come. Thank you for listening.
Well, that just summarized so many things that are so important about today, and I thank you, Kory, for doing that so well and so eloquently. And now I want to go see one of the shows. I hope Kory's words were inspiring to all of you, and you're also going to hear more inspiring words at the ceremony this afternoon. I hope these words ring true for you, and I agree with Kory that you should be filled with pride today, and you should also be filled with a strong sense of ambition, and you should be reflective as you move forward. In closing, I want to thank all of you for trusting the Faculty of Science and the University of Alberta with your education. Now that you're Faculty of Science alumni, you're joining this large, deeply thoughtful, deeply meaningful and caring community of alumni that are filled with some of the best and brightest minds, including all of you. We look forward to hearing your stories and successes as you embark on your next journeys. So I ask you to please keep in touch with us. We want to hear about what you're doing next, and we want to keep in touch with you just so that we can keep this dialogue of collaboration and discovery going. Keep an eye out for our Contours magazine. This is our alumni magazine, where we feature our alumni, our students, our faculty, and it's a great way for you to keep connecting with us. If you didn't get a copy of our latest issue of Contours, one is available at the desk where you checked in at. We are honored to continue our relationship with you as University of Alberta and Faculty of Science alumni. And something that I want to impart for all of you that's really important is that you are now ambassadors for the Faculty of Science. So take some time as you're talking to young people, curious people, people that are trying to solve problems, and people that you think will become great problem solvers. Have conversations with them about the Faculty of Science, about the things that we're doing in the Faculty of Science, and about opportunities for the next generation of scientists at the University of Alberta in the Faculty of Science. You'll be more effective in having those conversations in your spheres than I will ever be in my sphere, because you're joining this large network of ambassadors to the Faculty of Science. Thank you again. Congratulations and best of luck as you journey forward in your life as a scientist. We look forward to hearing of your many successes. I hope that all of you continue your conversations, and I will see everyone this afternoon. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.